Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Big Mike TV. We're here at Damian Warner Fitness, and we're going to go inside and talk to the one and only Stephanie Worsfold. Now, if you like this video, remember, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the like button below. Let's go inside. What's going on, Steph?
I haven't seen you in so long.
Good to see you. This is awesome. Thanks so much for coming down here and taking the time to be on the channel.
Anytime.
With Big Mike here. We were so excited to come and have a chat with you, just to get to know Stephanie Worsfold. So
I don't know if you want to know me that well.
So you want to just go for a little walk here, and we'll kind of set up and see where we can have a little chat.
For sure.
Awesome. So this is your place. This is where you train now.
This is my stomping grounds. I train at a few gyms, but most of the year is close to my house.
Awesome.
And I worked here back in the day when it was the athletic club 30 years ago when it first opened.
Oh my God, I remember, because this was the first place that I came for an interview for personal training, and they actually turned me down because they said bodybuilders were too intimidating.
Oh, really? I guess I wasn't big enough, right?
Right on. So first I want to start off with a couple icebreaker questions with a little bit of trivia.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. What is the one thing that we have in common?
We like working out. We like supplements. I think we both went to Fanshawe and took fitness and health promotion.
That's it. That's the one thing. We both went to Fanshawe College for
I got
fitness
it.
and health promotion. Now, do you know how many bodybuilding shows I've done?
3.
Almost. I did 2.
Oh.
Everybody wanted me to do 3, but you know what it takes in your third show, and I was just tired of walking around in a Speedo.
Oh, wait a minute. But your third show is going to be my show next year.
The Masters.
Yep, Masters. You're coming.
That might give me some motivation,
Yeah.
actually. So third question, and I love asking this to everybody, what is your biggest pet peeve that you see in the gym? Because I know mine, and I've got many of them, but one of them is when people come in the gym with their great big duffel bag, like they're going on vacation. I don't even know what they got in there. They're walking around with a 5-gallon water jug.
A mutant
Like
one.
something you'd see like in the army. But what would be one of your biggest pet peeves that you see in the gym?
I think people sit on the equipment too long. If they're on their phone after they do their set, and I'll have to can I work in with you? But I think my biggest one is when they don't clean their equipment or put their weights away. So yeah, I always have a towel or something to put over top of the equipment because it's kind of gross and stinky.
I hear you. Sometimes I wish COVID would actually come back so people would stop being slobs and go back to being like super clean again.
Well, that's one of the things when I used to work at the gym, I'd get sick all the time with colds, and I think it's just everyone touching all the equipment and then touching their face. But it's nice because they all have sanitizers now, which is a good thing, hand sanitizer.
For sure. You know, talk about people sitting on the machines all the time. I'll see people, like you said, on their phone for 10 minutes, and I might come over and say, hey, do you mind if I jump in there? And they'll look up at me and go, yeah, well, I'm still using this. 10 minutes later, buddy, you're already cooled down.
Exactly. Don't like it.
Okay, so listen, I know you've got a big show coming up in May, the 15th annual Stephanie Worsfold Classic. I know you must be excited. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
First of all, I'm not competing in it. When people say, oh, here you have a show coming up, I'm retired. So my last show was 2007 Olympia. And then once I retired from competing, the CPA, which is the Canadian Federation of these shows, offered to give me a show. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. It's May 17th. At the London Music Hall.
Awesome.
And I am pretty excited. It's a lot of work because I have 2 full-time jobs when that show comes up, but it's been a huge success. A sanctioned event through the CPA.
Yeah.
So it qualifies you for the next show. So you do my show, and then there's the Natural Pro Qualifier.
I see what you mean, yep.
So it qualifies you for that. And then at that show, you can actually get your pro card.
Okay.
And that's what I did. And then you can compete all over the world.
Nice. Now, listen, one thing I really want to talk about. I know a lot of people get really inspired by hearing other people's stories and what inspires them and how they got started in the industry. So I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to get started in the fitness industry and to kind of be where you're at today?
So how long is the show?
As long as you want.
Because you know I like to talk. Yeah, it's a long story, so I'll try to keep it short.
You got it.
So I grew up in Woodstock and I had a dance background. And I started teaching aerobics at the YMCA when I was actually 15 years old. So through that, I got into the gym, and then back in that time, they only had bodybuilding. They didn't have fitness.
That's right.
Like they didn't have fitness, figure, physique, bikini, none of these classes.
I wish they did.
So once I saw that it was posted that there was a fitness show coming. I'm like, I want to try that.
Awesome.
And the year before, I'd gone to a bodybuilding show. And actually, my first show was a bodybuilding show because that's all they had, and it was in Stratford.
Okay.
And I think it was in '93, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard when I'm like only 30 years old, right? Okay. So that was my first show, the Stratford bodybuilding show, and I came second, and there's I think 12 in the class. And the following year, that's when fitness came about, but in the USA. They didn't even have fitness competitions in Canada yet.
Right.
So I went to the States and did the Miss Fitness America pageants, the Galaxy competitions, which was an obstacle course.
Oh, cool.
And I actually did well in those shows, and they were televised on ESPN.
Was that right?
With Kiana Tom. I don't remember if you remember Flex
Yes,
Appeal.
I do. That was the best. That was my favorite show.
Yes, she hosted
No
it.
kidding.
And from there, I just continued. Like first year, they had IFBB like shows in Canada. It was the year actually Greg Kovacs was in my show that year.
Big Greg Kovacs. I met him at Masonville Mall.
Yep, from 1996.
Yep.
It was the first time they had fitness in Canada where you could get your pro card. I competed, turned pro that year.
Good for you.
And I actually qualified for the Olympia in 1997.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, and then it just all goes from there. So it's from my dance background,
Sure.
going to a show and seeing it thinking, I want to do that. And a lot of people are like, Steph's doing a bodybuilding show,
Right.
that's a joke. And I'm like, I will show them.
Right.
And I always did my own choreography. It's changed a lot. So I did all my training, my choreography. I even put beads on my suits. For now, they have people do everything for you, right?
It's crazy.
Changed.
Well, I remember when I competed, I never even planned on competing. It was a challenge somebody had given me. Like when I first started lifting weights, my dad took me to the gym. I think I was 13 or 14 years old. And fast forward like 10, 15 years later, I had people saying, you should do a show. That was the last thing on my mind. Mm-hmm. So I kept it kind of quiet to surprise somebody, and I didn't want a lot of attention. And ended up winning my first show, and then 2 years later I continued on with it, and I was helping some friends of mine in class who wanted to do their first competition, and I thought I would do it with them, and it was my level 2. They didn't know I was actually training for the show at the same time. So I surprised them as well, and then after that I'm like, yeah, that's enough for me.
For me, it's been great just seeing how it's evolved over the years, and as a promoter now too, like back when I competed, like I'd be here training and I was a freak. Like there's no one really competing. Like Mindy O'Brien and I were pretty much the only Canadians doing it, which was a good thing because we got a lot of sponsorship in like Fit Foods or PBL, who sponsored me back in the day, and I'm still working for them now, and we're a huge company now. So.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about PBL because I mean I was taking those supplements years ago when I was out in Vancouver, and then later on I find out that you're kind of affiliated with them. So can you tell us a little bit more about maybe the company and how you kind of got involved there?
Well, when I was competing, it was a fairly new company, Canadian company, based out of Port Coquitlam, BC.
Okay,
so that's when you're in Vancouver. That's where we're based out of. And when I worked here, Fit Foods actually was my sponsor, but it was called PBL Nutrients back at that time.
Okay.
So we manufacture like PBL, North Coast Naturals, and Mutants.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people don't know that. So we're
I didn't
huge
even
now.
know that.
Yeah, we're huge. And then when I worked here, I actually did a TV show.
Oh, I wanted to ask you. I did some research
on Rogers.
And I did some research, and I never knew this. So this is awesome. Tell us a little bit about the TV show.
So I worked here, and then PBL sponsored me, so we decided to do a show. It's kind of like The Biggest Loser. It was called the PBL Finally Fit Challenge. And we actually had lineups of people audition for it because it was a 12-week transformation show where I trained them. We'd go shopping. So they got free personal training. And it was a lot of work, but it was fun. And so PBL in the gym, we combined it as a show for, it was like 3 years. And I've been with them pretty much since the beginning when they were small as an athlete, but now I'm working for them as a sales rep, and I have over 100 accounts in Southwestern Ontario.
Wow.
Yeah.
So listen, is there any plans in the future to have like another type of show like that? What do you think?
I don't know. I am actually thinking of starting a YouTube channel.
Love it.
Yeah,
you
but
should.
I'm not going to say a lot yet because I'm still working on it. And
Okay.
I I'd hire professionals, and I want it to be like a fun show, talking about how the industry has grown. So I thought the young, the old, behind the scenes with stuff. And yeah, I want it to be entertaining and fun, but I'll tell you more when I know how it's gonna go.
Can't wait to hear about it. I'm sure we'll figure it out. So Steph, what I want to do is leave you with one final question here before we let you go. And I ask this all the time. If you could give your best piece of advice to someone who is looking to get back in shape or to get in shape for the first time in 2025, what would that be?
All right, I'm gonna tell you. Weight training. I'm 55 now, which is, I feel good. My joints are a little stiff, I have bad knees. But I feel it's really important. Women are afraid of protein and bulking and muscle, lifting heavy. And on social media, I see it a lot now, like it is really promoted. Lift weights, build muscle, like building muscle keeps your metabolism high, it's good for your bone health.
Yeah.
I see a lot of ladies doing a ton of cardio. They just want to be skinny. I'm like, no. You need to do weights because
and not be afraid that you're gonna look like a guy.
Yeah, well, muscle burns fat, and it's funny. My son plays junior nights hockey, and we have hockey mom parties, and I love chips. I'm a social eater, so I eat good on my own. When I go out, I eat a lot, and I have a big appetite because the muscle burns a lot. So they're like, you must starve yourself all week. I'm like, actually, no, I don't. It's from lifting weights.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's from lifting weights and eating protein, and that's what a lot of women are afraid of. And the key is muscle and protein to build, like that's what repairs and recovers muscle. And cardio, I love cardio, but I have to cut back on it because I actually lose my muscle and I actually gain weight when I do too much cardio, which is crazy, where I turn into what I say, a skinny fat person. So I lose the muscle. And that's what I find a lot of women, they're cardio, burning into the muscle, which actually slows down their metabolism.
100%. That is incredible advice. Thanks so much for being here. Listen, I'm going to remind everybody, Stephanie Worsfold Classic, May 17th.
London Music Hall.
Make sure you London Music Hall. Get your tickets there.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Steph. That was awesome. Thanks a lot. That was fantastic. Hey, I just want to remind you that if you're a personal trainer or a fitness coach and you want to learn how to make your first $100,000 online, I created something called Fit Pro School, where I teach trainers how to build their own online community in the first 14 days. All you got to do is click the link below if you want to find out more, and I'll see you on the inside.